widdz here, and in today's video you probably just witnessed the most insane burst damage you've probably seen here on the Division 2, and especially when it comes to SMG, hitting a whopping 25 million plus on one bullet. So in this video I'm gonna show the build, which will be, I guess, two different one for solo, one for group play. So the build in particular is focused around bosses, right? So it's a boss kill build. However though, the concept still works really well for just playing normal. And I actually did post around like 4 or 5 days ago a build using this concept. And a lot of people were pretty happy with that one. So yeah, to go through the build, starting with the gear set being Striker. So obviously, since we're trying to reach the highest damage possible, Striker is gonna be one of the best, if not the best in most cases. And that's because of the 4-piece, right? But if we look at the 2-piece first, weapon handling, 15%, being reload speed, swap speed, accuracy and stability. And then 3-piece, 15% rate of fire, increasing that burst, giving us faster stacks. In terms of the 4-piece, gives weapon hits, increased total weapon damage per stacks, and this stacks up to 100. If you use the chest piece, it stacks up to 200, which we are using in this case. And just to go through the stats priority really quick, nothing new here. We're gonna go 6 red because we're gonna try to deal the most damage possible. And we also are going critical hit chance and critical hit damage. And for this, you wanna get critical hit chance to around 60%, which is the cap. And then put the rest into critical hit damage. Try to get a ratio of 1 crit chance to 2 critical hit damage, around there. It also can be worth to keep your crit chance around 50% because of the Chaotic Mask buff that you can get from teammates if you're playing in a group. So we take a look at the 2 other pieces, starting with one of my kind of favorite items, especially when it comes to SMGs and shotguns, and that is Vigil in particular, which is a named Legatus backpack that comes with 30% swap speed, but it also comes with perfect versatile. And versatile is a backpack talent that I have been using quite a lot here and there, but it is quite hard to use for most weapon types. But if you look at shotgun and SMGs, it is actually pretty damn easy. You get 45% amplified damage for 10 seconds within 15 meters for shotgun and SMGs. And this happens when you swap between the primary weapons. And there is an internal cooldown that you can swap most once per 5 seconds per weapon type. Meaning you have to at least use each gun 5 seconds. And keep in mind, you need to use 2 different weapon types. So in this case, we need a shotgun and a SMG, which we will get to later. The reason why this name Vigil is so good is because it's 45% amp damage instead of 35%, which it is on the normal one. So you get a lot more damage. And the swap speed in this case is not bad either. It will make it smoother and faster. So that is the backpack. We're gonna go through more later how this is played though. And if we take a look at the exotic, you might have already guessed it, another favorite of mine, and that is Centurion Scabbard. You can farm this easily in countdown, just do target loot to holster and it should drop eventually. So if we take a look at this one also revolves around weapon swapping. And this bonus stays for 12 seconds, while versatile stays for 10. So swapping weapons will give the following groups of bonuses. So the first one being 20% rate of fire and 20% weapon damage, which will increase your burst a lot, especially when it comes to fast firing guns like SMGs. And then the second one is just mag size and 50% reload speed. I do quickly just want to show you how this one works. So you can see the buff right there. It's like no hair or like black hair. That is the damage and rate of fire. And the white one is the mag size and reload speed. So you swap between the guns and you swap around the buff. The white one will also automatically refill your gun. You can see I have 34 bullets. We swap and swap back and it automatically refilled. So that's worth to note. If you use a grenade and swap back to the same gun, it will swap the buff. If you swap to the pistol and swap back, it will swap the buff. So that's how we can kind of swap it around. We will go later into how it exactly played. I just wanted to show the holster. And then we go to our exotic choice when it comes to the weapon, and that is Busy Little Bee, which I think is the first time that I actually cover in a YouTube video build. And I see a lot of comments talking about this gun in particular, that I should use it in that build. because I'm not using a exotic. Yeah, the damage from this one is amazing. But if we take a look how it works, so each shot to a different target will give 1 stack up to 10. And each stack will give you 20 weapon damage increase. So in total, if you can get 10 stacks, it will be 200 weapon damage increase, which is insane. But you also need to find 10 NPCs. And in most content, running around with Busy Little Bee, you will already you will already kill them fast enough, so it's not worth it. However though, since this will be a boss killer build, it is worth to get the stacks. And then stacks will activate once the agent switches the weapon and will last for 10 seconds. So, I mean, you probably heard it already. There's a lot of swapping that synergizes. So if we take a quick example, you use the pistol, you mark up NPCs. You can see we have some stacks there. And then we can swap to showstopper, build stacks. You see we have the white hair. And then we swap to the SMG, and then we get all the burst. So that's in quick how it works. To really make this work though, you have to pay attention to the buff, because swapping to the pistol and swapping back, it will like change around the Centurion buff, right? So you have to keep that in mind. The way I play it, I have damage buff on Centurion on the showstopper. I swap to Busy Little Bee and get the stacks. Then eventually I will swap back to the showstopper, build stacks, which means it got instant refill with extra mag size, perfect to build stacks. And then we swap back to the SMG and we get the damage buff and everything. So that's how I've been playing it. If we take a look at the guns, we're gonna firstly go through the lefty, because I think that this one will be the best in all cases. And it comes with perfect sledgehammer, so this one will be perfect when you're playing solo. So the way sledgehammer works, perfect for bosses. You toss a grenade and you will mark them and get 20% more damage to armor on that boss or NPC, and also reduce their movement speed. And this works for 10 seconds, which, as you probably heard by this case, 10 seconds is what everything will give us. It's a short window, but damage will be insane. I choose to go rate of fire, because you shoot faster stacks, less time on the showstopper. I also go rate of fire on the mag, because we don't need reload speed, because it reloads automatically. And then, yeah, we have reload speed here, but honestly, you can go either crit, stability, or accuracy. And I have weapon handling on the scope. Basically, you just want to get the stacks as fast and as easy as possible. Remember, weapon handling also gives swap speed. Then, for the second gun, I have been using different guns. For the solo one, I was using Dark Winter. And Dark Winter comes with Perfect Killer, which is one of the best talents in the game. I mean, as long as you can proc this, you will get a lot of damage. So that's why I chose that one. Even when I tried this one in the group, I was running Sharpshooter for the digital scope. Probably put in a clip on that because it looks pretty hilarious. But I mean, that's for the most damage. Other than that though, just mod it like normal. Crit chance, critical hit damage, right? But in the clip you actually see in the video, I was using the Purist. We take a look at IKEA's spreadsheet right here. We want to look at burst damage, and we can see the TAC Vector 9mm is in the lead by 810. The SMG9 comes at a second place at 808. And just to look here at the base damage, if I would want a higher crit than 25 million, we have the base on this being 48,000. If I would have used the M1928, it's almost double. So I mean, that would probably have been 40 million on that shot, if not even more. So keep that in mind. The SMG9 is still one of the fastest rate of fire with 1000 RPM. Like, it's not like I'm using a SMG that shoots super slow for the high bullet damage. So the burst is still insane because we shoot so fast. And then of course out of cover damage and streamline. This one I used in group. Honestly, if you play the solo, you don't want to have streamline. Then I probably would just go killer and kill NPC and then burst the boss. But yeah, for soloing, you can do it a few different ways. I used it with smart cover, because there is a decent amount of out of cover damage, and Technician gives you another skill tier as well, so that works pretty well. In group I was using streamline, so I didn't use any skills. But when it comes to specialization, what I also did use was firewall, because then you have the striker shield that will give you extra damage when they are in front of your shield. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to the group play alone, we had... I'm not sure exactly what we ended up having. I was playing... I think I was actually playing sharpshooter, because I actually did use the sniper scope until I swapped to purist, because killer was just too hard to proc. And yeah, that's basically to unlock the digital scopes. I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, gunner would have worked too, but I was too lazy to go and swap. I would have gotten more rate of fire possibly on the second kill, but other than that, for soloing, just go gunner or technician, like do whatever you want. Or if you're not using cover, then use a striker shield, right? And then basically all my friends had all, probably not all, but most of the buffs in the game, like the Scorpio. We had smart cover, we had the gear set with the healer that increased damage, opportunistic, and all those kind of stuff. But when I soloed, I was using the sledgehammer debuff, I was using smart cover or the striker shield, and that's basically it. I mean, the build itself is still good if you're not going for the boss killer part, to be honest. Like, I probably will run this and just show you how it works, because it's still good. It's just that the survivability is not the best. But yeah, I think that covers the build. I understand if there is a lot of questions here, but I will put up a video on my second channel playing this and also talking it through in case you want to have more details. It is gonna be a pretty good build just playing it normal, but of course the focus on this was for the big burst for killing bosses. And it is, as you can see, even for soloing, it will deal really good burst. So yes, of course, in group with other buffs, it will work the best. But still, I mean, I hit numbers up to 7.5 million, and that was with a Victor, right? So yeah, that would be even higher on the purist. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if there is any questions, make sure you tune into twitch.tv/widdz so you can get live answers. Other than that, we'll see you guys in the next YouTube video tomorrow on this channel, or in the other video on widdz TV with the gameplay of this build, or on TikTok, or live at Twitch.